chicken pox will make you jump and twitch. A common cold will fool ya, and whooping cough can cool ya. A poison of the Lord will make you itch.
What are the 3 most dreaded words in a fish keeper's tenure? I have ick. Well, hopefully, this will help you understand this pest and show that a case of ick does not need to be a death sentence to your finned friends. There are 3 main types of fish disease that commonly occur in an aquarium. They are bacterial, fungal, and the most common, parasitic. We will discuss in this episode ick, the most common parasitic infestation in an aquarium. At some point in the hobby of fish keeping, you are going to face a confrontation with a disease inflicting your aquarium. It may be sooner rather than later. It may be mild or severe, but with any luck, after viewing this video, the infestation need not be the demise of all your hard work. A parasite is an organism that needs another organism to survive and brings no benefit to their relationship. The organism that provides this for a parasite is called the host. Eventually, a parasite can become so exhausting on its host that it ultimately destroys it and then moves on to find a new one. In an aquarium environment, the hosts are the fish. When an infestation gets large enough and spreads to the fish's gills, impairing breathing, the fish die. This, in a nutshell, is the lowly existence of ick in an aquarium, and why it must be purged. There are 2 schools of thought about the presence of ick in an aquarium. Some believe that varying degrees of ick are present in all aquariums. By being proactive with water changes, feeding quality foods, maintaining clean filters, etc., healthy fish can fend off low numbers of parasites without issue. In this scenario, an ick outbreak occurs when a normally healthy fish begins to become stressed, usually the result of being harassed by a tank mate. The fish's immune system weakens, becoming susceptible to the attacking parasites. A dramatic temperature change downward is also believed to cause an ick outbreak. As the water temperature decreases, a fish's metabolism slows down, causing it to be less efficient in maintaining its health. As a side note, lower temperatures also slow down the parasite's life cycle, allowing it to linger in the aquarium. But more about that later. Others believe that a clean, uninfected aquarium can exist, and an infestation occurs when a newly acquired fish with hitchhiking parasites aboard is introduced to an established aquarium. Unknowingly, this pristine environment is invaded by these new parasites with a whole new group of hosts to attack and overwhelm. In either case, having fish in a weakened state begins the chain effect to an all-out, tank-wide infestation. Which of these 2 scenarios is accurate? Who really knows? But the bottom line is, whatever the cause of the infestation, when you get it in your aquarium, your only goal is to crush it. Using the scenario that a minuscule amount of ick is present in all aquariums, let's take a look at how an infestation may manifest itself. As with most aquariums, when you get an itch to add a fish, you head down to your local pet shop and look at the inventory. When you decide upon a new addition, you take it home, acclimate it slowly, and then release it into your aquarium. Upon entry, It is not unusual for the current occupants to immediately begin inspecting their new tank mate. Sometimes it is an aggressive confrontation. Sometimes it's a semi-aggressive one. But many times it's only persistent curiosity. Whatever the case, it may be overwhelming for the new addition. If the confrontation is ongoing, you may find your new fish hiding out in one of the upper corners of the aquarium, trying to be as inconspicuous as possible. If the introduction was violent, it may even be suffering from tattered fins and breathing very heavy. Normally, in a day or two, things settle down and the new fish incorporates into the group and all seems well. But the damage may already be done. While in that stressed state, the new fish may have let its guard down, and those ever-opportunistic parasites lurking in the aquarium seize the opportunity to strike and attach themselves to the weakened host. At first, all seems well, but soon you may begin to see the early signs of a budding ick infestation. Healthy fish living in a well-maintained aquarium can withstand the attacks from a small population of parasites. A healthy fish produces a secretion on its body known as a slime coat. This protective coating offers a defense against scrapes, nicks, and bites, and promotes healing from these wounds. In the fight against disease, particularly ick, a fish's slime coat acts as a barrier, a force field so to speak, repelling attacks. It's not exactly a suit of armor, but rather nature's way of shielding an always wet creature. Also, the slime coat lubricates the fish, allowing less restrictive movement through the water. Ick has 2 stages of life and exists in an aquarium in 3 phases. In stage 1, phase 1, it is free swimming, not visible to the naked eye. It needs to attach to a host within 24 hours, and it is vulnerable to medications. Once ick attaches to a fish, it burrows into the host's flesh and begins feeding on its bodily fluids, particularly blood. Borrowing a video from YouTube to demonstrate the classic flashing behavior of a fish infected with ick, pay attention to the male Kenii cichlid, the yellow fish with black bars on the left side of the aquarium. Obviously, there's something troubling him. It appears as though he has ick. In an effort to ease the irritation, he hurls himself against the rocks, trying to dislodge the parasites. If the flashing is temporary and isolated to a particular fish, it may be dismissed as inconsequential. But if the flashing is frequent and demonstrated by multiple fish, recognize this as an omen and prepare to act. As the parasite grows attached to the host, it begins to encase itself with a hard covering or cyst. As the parasite continues to feed and grow, the protective cyst gets larger. While at this stage, the cysts are large enough to be seen, and normally when you first become aware that the fish are infected. Unfortunately, by this time, the infestation has already progressed to the point of being troublesome. While encased in this cyst, the parasite is protected against external stimuli. It securely, comfortably continues feeding and growing. Eventually, the engorged cyst falls from the host body to the bottom of the aquarium. After this occurs, the fish is at great risk to secondary infection from the wound remaining where the cyst was attached. Lying throughout the aquarium substrate, securely encased in their protective shell, the parasites begin reproducing by means of splitting. Once again, during this stage, the rapidly multiplying parasites are impervious to outside influences. Each parasite within a cyst can split multiple times, capable of yielding hundreds of new free swimmers. In a heavy infestation, multiply this event by thousands of cysts, and you can imagine how devastating this scenario can be. Eventually, the cysts that accumulated in the aquarium burst, sending hundreds, if not thousands, of new free-swimming parasites into the water column, attaching to hosts already weakened from prior attacks. This scenario is the quintessential ick infestation. If corrective action is not taken, the parasites will accrue in large enough numbers to overwhelm the fish population. If and when the parasites are so overwhelming they infiltrate the gills of the fish, game over.